seems to be working more and more that way, that I've got lots of works out and around me in various states of completion. I used to work just one work it right through and finish it. But nowadays, I think because I've got a few that I've had stored away that I haven't really finished from my last body of work, that I still like aspects of, and so I've brought them out to try and develop this next body of work to have. If I've got them all out, then I can sort of bounce off each other, so that at the end they all talk to each other in a design sense as well as a strange narrative. I don't have a narrative, like a set story that I want to tell. I have, my mind is whizzing across a whole lot of different ideas and, bits of information and knowledge that I've built up over, my years in the industry, and it's all mixed with current events and what I hear on news and radio and documentaries or whatever. And so it's all just feeding into each other, and because it's figurative and the work is active, like the figures are actually involved in doing things. It's easy to say that I've got a narrative, but in fact it's a broader brush than that. It covers a whole life of experience, and I don't really want to have a set narrative. I like people to look at it and be able to run away with whatever they think might be going on, and I give a hook with the titles. I feel like that's enough to say what I was basically playing with at the time, and it still leaves it wide open for people to take it where they want. They'll relate their own experiences to it, and maybe hook up with mine, or I'd like to leave it open like that. And so I found that the portraits was a good way to teach myself how to paint. And so after a decade of doing that, I got sick of it. I felt I had accomplished that, and I wanted to move on. So I did a huge portrait. I did a 60-foot long and 12-foot tall. It was a portrait of Tolaga Bay, and it was a huge undertaking in lots of ways. But to answer your question, it helped me to open up my technique and to use a 4-inch brush instead of one, with half a dozen hairs in it to do Goldie type works. You make a mark, and you like the mark that you make, and you like, where it's going, and once you do a whole body of work, and then in amongst that body of work, you look back and then there's some of them that just are not there with the rest of them. Some of them shine up really well, and they can lead you off in another direction, and then you look back across the body of work and some of them are not there, but that's aspects of them that you like, so you edit and fiddle. I think that in the end of the day, you can't set about trying to please anyone but yourself. I think the art world is, especially if you're as a student, you're into this mode of presenting work to your betters to get a tick so you can move on. Well, the reality of living in the art world is completely the opposite to that. You can't really listen to a single soul apart from the little voices and the nuances in your hands. You've got to just do it all. You got to follow your own thing, is what I think. The moment you start listening to anyone, you've drawn away from there, and you've got it's not you anymore. It's hard enough to actually find you in amongst, in your work, to have too much time listening to other people's advice or trying to please them, thinking that you're doing something for a market or a curator that you're hoping will show your work. You just can't do it. If your work is good, then people will look at it. It can only be good if you're happy with it. That's really what I